This video is brought to you by
Cool Green Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. And if you're in town, pull up on us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you're not in town, go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. For most people, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing that comes to our mind is how are we going to make some money to take care of ourselves or our family. Some take the traditional route, leave out every day, go to a job to ensure they get that guaranteed paycheck. Others might be a little bit more adventurous and jump out there, start a business or be an entrepreneur so they can be their own boss. And of course, you always have fast money in the streets. But no matter how you look at it and what you choose to do to survive, one thing for sure is, in this capitalistic society we live in, you need that little green piece of paper for everything. For successful people or individuals that have been fortunate enough to come from money, it's an old saying. Money isn't everything and it doesn't buy happiness, which is true. But if you come from the struggle and have been broke before and you ask the people what they are stressing about, they will probably say money and paying bills. But the majority will always figure out a way. But even if you are making a few dollars, sometimes it just doesn't seem like enough. It's frustrating to go to work all week, get your paycheck, and can't do nothing but pay bills. No vacations, can't treat yourself and enjoy life. That can make some go out here and make other moves for their extras. While some might pick up a second job and be cool with working all the time to make ends meet, others want it the fast way. They want their money in one lump sum instead of payouts. And that could lead a person down a dangerous road. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we will be discussing the case of an exotic dancer turned bank robber who ended up being Baltimore's most wanted. Back in 2021, 26-year-old Kyrisha Anderson was a young lady navigating life in Baltimore. Kyrisha, like most coming up in a tough environment, early on found ways to support herself and make money. Even though she had a family and her mother was in the picture, she could only go by what she was taught and how she knew how to survive. It started as a juvenile when Kyrisha was introduced to fast money. She would go out with her mother and friends, boosting from stores in Baltimore and the surrounding counties. At 16 years old, her and her mother got jammed up after stealing from a Burlington coat factory on Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie. As a security guard tried to stop the mother and daughter, they got sprayed with mace. Eventually later that day, Kyrisha and her mother would get locked up along with two others and charged with shoplifting. As she got older, the only thing that was on the young lady's mind was how could she make some fast money. She decided she could use her looks and go down to the block in Baltimore, an infamous street of regular clubs, bars, and strip clubs in the city, and become an exotic dancer. She landed a job at a club and started making decent money. She met a lot of people and was networking. Her skills on stage allowed the young lady to travel to different states to dance, but she still struggled to keep her nose clean, catching charges in Florida and other states for drug possession and petty offenses. In the spring of 2021, April 19th, at the M&T Bank in Brooklyn, two people walked in, a man and woman. When they got into the bank, a woman approached the teller and handed over a note. The note stated it was a robbery. It told the teller they needed all the money, no die packs, alarms, or they will shoot. The teller did what they was told, and the robbers fled in a getaway vehicle. Anne Arundel County Police were called to the location. As they headed towards the bank, they saw a car that matched the description of the getaway vehicle. After a short pursuit, the vehicle crashed, and police took a man and woman into custody. The young lady was identified as Kyresha Anderson. She was charged with the robbery, but not having any serious criminal history, when she went in front of a judge, they released her on her own recognizance, with a promise she would show up for court when the date came around. The young lady agreed and was now a free woman. But soon after, Baltimore County and Baltimore City Police all realized the bank robbery in Anne Arundel matched the same MO as 3 other robberies that happened just days prior. On April 12, 2021, TD Bank in Canton was hit with a woman with a note. The next day, on April 13th, First National Bank in Dundalk, Baltimore County was also hit. And on April 15th, a Capital One bank was hit in Northwest Baltimore. The same way, the prime suspect in all the robberies being a woman, and police was looking at Kyresha. It seemed she went from a dancer to a bank robber, and a warrant was put out for the young lady's arrest. But she was MIA, plus she had missed her court date in Anne Arundel County. With her being a dancer and being connected to many places, police didn't know where to start. They went to the block where she used to work at, but everyone stated they haven't heard from or seen the young lady. Police hit a dead end, and Kyresha was in the win. With her being accused of hitting multiple banks, she was now labeled Maryland's Most Wanted, and a manhunt started for the young lady. She was good at laying low though, and changing her appearance. As months went by, there was still no info on her whereabouts. Months turned into a whole year, and it seemed that she was able to stay a step ahead of law enforcement. One day, somebody saw the young lady on Maryland's Most Wanted, miles away in Philly. The person was staying in a hotel room, and they made a call to local law enforcement, stating they think they recognized the person staying in the room by them as Kyresha. Task force hit the hotel, and in fact, the woman inside was the young lady. She was taken into custody before being extradited back to Maryland to face 4 robbery charges. After a year on the run, the young lady was now in custody. Police allege they have solid evidence linking Kyresha to all the robberies, but as of now, I couldn't find any information or updates whether the cases made their way to court or not, and she is innocent until proven otherwise. Like we was talking about earlier, for that money, people will do almost anything, especially if they feel like they can get away with it. Shorty had a job as a dancer, which usually they make good money, but she probably felt it wasn't enough, so she hopped off the pole and allegedly ran up in some banks on a set it off tip. But I want to leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation in the comments. Yeah, man, crazy story. Fortunately, in this situation, nobody lost their life. They just lost a few dollars. But I'm going to leave this one up to y'all to finish. Y'all leave it in the comments. Definitely tap that like button if you feeling the content. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.